Welcome back to HCDE for the 2018-2019 academic year. Remember, HCDE is one source for all learners. And as usual, it's time for the annual Returning Staff Orientation. This year's orientation provides you with pertinent information regarding policies, annual requirements, and safety. We've condensed this year's version while maintaining everything you need to know, and we're going to try to make it as interesting as possible. So let's get to it. As always, the updated Employee Handbook is designed to help you navigate through some of our most frequently asked questions. Some forms, such as the 2018-2019 Outside Employment Form, are completed every school year by employees who engage in any kind of employment outside of the employee's assigned duties at HCDE. This form is submitted to your supervisor for approval. Next, it is forwarded to the superintendent or designee for approval. The Catastrophic Sick Leave Bank form is completed each year by employees wishing to join or maintain membership in the Catastrophic Sick Leave Pool. New members must donate 3 personal leave days, and continuing members may elect to donate 1, 2, or 3 days. Located on the inside front cover of your handbook is a form verifying that you received the handbook and that you have participated in returning staff orientation. Also, the handbook contains the new Employee Acknowledgement of Workers' Compensation Network, also known as WorkWell Texas form. The network name has changed, but many of the same providers, such as Concentra, remain as members. This form is required by HCDE's workers' compensation insurer. Every employee must sign acknowledging acceptance and understanding that using services provided by in-network providers in cases of work-related illnesses or injuries is a requirement of the plan. These forms must be completed and submitted to the Human Resources Division before August 31st. Our Center for Grants Development has included a form giving you an opportunity to voluntarily donate funds to any of HCDE's grant-funded programs. Details are printed on the form. Each year, drivers of HCDE-owned or leased vehicles are required to complete both the Texas Department of Public Safety application form and the HCDE Requirements for Drivers of Department-Owned or Leased Vehicles Procedures form. These forms are provided to you by your supervisor and must be returned to the Human Resources Division before August 27th. Direct deposit, technological equipment, emergency contact, payroll beneficiary, and workers' compensation claim forms are included in this handbook for your convenience. You may have noticed that your pay voucher looks a little different. Leave balances are now printed on the stub, at the bottom left in red. The leave balances listed are as of the date printed on the bottom of the voucher. If you have taken any leave time after the date listed on the voucher, you will need to make the necessary reduction to your available leave balance. Consult the Employee Access Center using your HCDE login and password to view individual leave balances, or you may contact payroll. The handbook also includes a payroll conversion chart, helpful in equating leave totals. Calendars are necessary to everyone for planning purposes. The HCDE Work Holiday Calendar and a listing of holidays, events, pay, and orientation dates are included on the first few pages of the handbook. Every employee's attendance is important to the success of HCDE and to the students and clients served. Policy DEC Local reminds you that you are expected to report to work on time, observe the limits of lunch breaks, and not leave work early without prior approval from your immediate supervisor. Employees are also required to follow their respective division call-in procedures and to give timely notice whenever they will be absent or tardy. Absences greater than 180 calendar days in a rolling 12-month period are cause for automatic termination of employment. HCDE provides each full-time employee continuously working 36 or more hours per week 5 days of state personal leave per year with no accumulation limit. Policy DEC Local states that these state personal leave days for the current year will be made available for use at the beginning of the school year. Employees beginning employment after the first duty day of the year or employees ending employment before the last duty day of the year shall have state personal leave prorated based on the actual time employed. Employees separating from employment before the last duty day of the school year will notice a reduction in the final paycheck for state personal leave used beyond the respective employee's pro rata entitlement for the school year. HCDE continues to provide eligible employees in 10, 11, or 12-month service positions 5, 6, or 7 equivalent workdays, respectively, of local personal leave per school year. Employees must work and not be on an unpaid leave status, such as FMLA or temporary disability leave or out due to workers' comp, at least 10 days in a month to earn one personal local leave day accrued at a rate of 1/2 day on the 15th of every month. Now let's move on to safety and workers' comp. It is the responsibility of every employee as well as the organization to maintain a safe work environment. Sometimes, however, work-related illnesses or injuries occur. Should you develop a work-related illness or incur a work-related injury, you should contact your supervisor immediately and seek medical help if necessary. In such case, you should complete 2 forms: the Employee First Report of Illness or Injury form and a WorkWell Texas form. Both are located in the back of the handbook and on the intranet under Human Resources, Workers' Comp. Submit both forms to Human Resources. Should an employee lose time from work due to a work-related illness or injury, then a medical release is required to return to work. Absences are reported to Human Resources by the supervisor or designee and confirmed via email. If necessary, light duty may be provided. Details regarding workers' compensation are located on the HCDE portal, the Hub, and in the handbook. Precaution and preventative measures are the best sources of deterring work-related illnesses or injuries. Using HCDE-provided safety equipment or personal protective equipment such as job-related gloves or masks is the first line of defense from exposure to potential blood and body fluids containing hepatitis or HIV. Take a moment to review the proper glove removal techniques. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap and water often. Also, maintaining a clean work environment void of clutter, potentially causing trips or falls or items falling from overhead, and practicing proper house cleaning procedures such as allowing those properly trained to clean up potential blood-borne pathogen material are all steps toward prevention. Consult HCDE's Exposure Control Plan or Blood-Borne Pathogens Manual located on the intranet in the Human Resources section. Wearing a seatbelt every time you are in a moving vehicle and refraining from using a cell phone to text or call are other ways to practice safety. Drivers are expected to comply with state laws, especially while driving in school zones. Also, under no circumstances are employees allowed to place themselves at risk to fulfill business needs, including texting while driving. The use, distribution, sale, or possession of illegal drugs and or alcohol or being under the influence of any prohibited substances are strictly prohibited for employees working at HCDE. Policy DH is printed in this handbook, outlining the importance of maintaining a drug-free and safe work environment. Other things you can do to promote safety are to remain aware of your surroundings and safeguard confidential information. Practice a clean desk policy by not leaving information such as employee or student social security numbers or date of birth information easily accessible. Protect your work by turning pages over when not in use, generally ensuring that documents are secure. Placing documents that should be under lock and key in such secure places, and by shredding confidential information as required. You are responsible for safeguarding confidential information. Do not risk confidential information about you or others that could possibly lead to any form of identity theft. Wearing your HCDE employee identification badge is a requirement of the organization. Doing so promotes safety. If you notice someone in an HCDE facility without a badge or name tag, report it to security immediately. Additional safety training will be provided to HCDE employees by the Center for Safe and Secure Schools. Information relating to this training will be posted on the Hub. Following ethical standards is another safety requirement. In accordance with state and federal law, as well as department policy, Policy DH, the handbook outlines the expectations of professional behavior toward coworkers, students, and the community. Adhering to these guidelines helps create an environment conducive to achieving outstanding goals and objectives. Remember that HCDE relies on each of us to represent our organization well, as we remain one source for all learners. Behaviors like bullying are not conducive to maintaining a safe work environment. Bullying creates an environment of fear and intimidation. Bullying may be exhibited through overpowering actions, such as causing an employee to feel badly about themselves. This behavior is prohibited at our workplace. Harassing a coworker, exhibited through a variety of behaviors including offensive or derogatory language directed at a person's religious beliefs or practices, accent, skin color, gender identity, or national origin, which are protected classes identified by law, are also prohibited. This behavior is illegal, and it also violates the Code of Ethics. Sexual harassment is a form of sex discrimination and is not tolerated. Cases of harassment of a sexual nature, which may be exhibited through flirting, joking, or body language, or other means, must be reported promptly. Sexual harassment is unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, physical, verbal, or nonverbal behaviors. Every case of sexual harassment is immediately investigated. In all cases of non-ethical and illegal behavior, tell the aggressor to stop. Report any and all cases of bullying, harassment, or sexual harassment to your supervisor or to human resources staff. HCDE has an internal dispute resolution process in place to help employees resolve issues in the workplace quickly and fairly. Employees are encouraged to seek resolution informally, but if that is not effective, then the formal grievance process is available to all employees. Outlined in Policy DGBA, this process affords employees an opportunity to grieve behaviors and/or actions or inactions. Timeliness is critical to facilitate thorough investigations. Grievances must be submitted on an HCDE form located on the hub and submitted to the Executive Director of Human Resources. A Level 1 grievance must be reported within 15 business days of the event, or 15 business days of learning of the event. Levels 2 and 3 must be filed within 10 business days of receipt of a post-investigative written response. Professional behaviors also afford protections for students and for all children. All employees should recognize signs of child abuse or neglect and know how to respond. If you see physical signs of abuse, contact Child Protective Services within 48 hours before bruises heal by calling 1-800-252-5400. Call 911 or local law enforcement for emergency situations and report non-emergencies online to www.texasabusehotline.org. It is your professional and moral responsibility to be the voice for a child in need. Additional reporting is required for Head Start and other licensed agencies. Always inform your supervisor. Become familiar with HCDE's policies as they relate to recognizing signs of abuse and neglect and protecting children. Other laws and policies are in place to protect children, such as protections regarding the use of social media and protecting student information as regulated by FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Did you know that HCDE's Employee Assistance Program, provided through Alliance Work Partners, offers benefits-eligible employees and their family members living in their household access to counselors and professionals who can offer support and counseling for personal or job-related issues, for marital, family, alcohol, drug abuse, emotional distress, stress management, financial management, and legal assistance issues. Also, legal and financial consultations and a free online library are available. The EAP is confidential and is available 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. Call 1-800-343-3822 or visit www.awpnow.com. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for. This year's returning staff orientation is finally over. See, that wasn't so bad after all, was it? Thank you for the awesome work you do. Let's go make it another great year at HCDE. For any questions about the information presented in this presentation, contact your direct supervisor or Human Resources staff. Most importantly, do not forget to complete all required forms. Remember, we're HCDE, one place for all learners.